Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming out this afternoon. My name is Maysoon Waswad. I'm the Manager of Education and Public Programs here at the San Francisco Arts Commission Gallery. I'm sorry, I'm behind you. Before we get started, I'd like to read our land acknowledgement and ground us all here in this space. The San Francisco Arts Commission acknowledges that we are on the unceded ancestral homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone. We affirm the sovereign rights of their community as First Peoples and are committed to supporting the traditional and contemporary evolution of the American Indian community and uplifting contemporary indigenous voices and culture. All right, so thank you all for being here again. And I want to just give a special thanks to Darcy and Mark and all the artists in the room, not just the artists back here, for participating and really for making this event happen. We wouldn't be here without you, so thank you for being here. We're very excited to host this first of three programs planned in conjunction with the Art with Elders exhibition called The Power of Creativity and Community. The exhibition features the work of over 90 elder artists, including all of you, many of you, who have participated in the many programs Art with Elders offers throughout the San Francisco and Bay Area. We're incredibly proud to partner with them on this exhibition and to uplift the work of so many elders in our community. The exhibition's on view at City Hall during the regular public hours, so unfortunately they're not open on Saturdays, but come back Monday through Friday, I believe from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the exhibition's on view until August 25th, so we hope you have many opportunities to go see it before it closes. And also, many of you have already looked at the exhibition in our gallery here, so thank you for spending some time in that space. But I just wanted to also say that this exhibition features the work of two Mexican-born women artists named Georgina Rascala and Arlene Correa Valencia. And their work explores themes of immigration, displacement, and endurance. So thank you for spending some time in there. And now I want to welcome Darcy first, or Mark first? Mark.
Thank you, Mason.
All right. Thank you all for being here. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful building. What a beautiful exhibit. And most of all, what beautiful people. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Please do me a favor. Raise your hands if you are a student in our Art with Elders program. All right. All right, far outnumbered. Excellent, that's great. Instructors, I know we have Darcy, Hugh, myself, and I think that's our instructors for the day here.
We have Keisha.
Oh, Keisha.
She's waiting for people outside.
Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't see her. All right, I'm just going to start with a little housekeeping. I know we went through some of this with the gallery and the show and everything, but I just wanted to, Darcy's going to run through a little bit more clearly about what's happening today. But what I wanted to do is just let you know that, again, this is a partnership between Art with Elders and the SF Arts Commission. We have an ongoing exhibition across the way there in City Hall. Unfortunately, it is not open today, but I'm sure you'll be back to check that out. And you can be there between Monday and Friday, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. It's free and open to the public. So along with this exhibit across the street, the Arts Commission has further partnered with us to provide 3 public art programs. This is the first one. The second will happen May 23rd, and that's going to be framed around inclusivity and accessibility in senior services in San Francisco. And then the third will be happening on July 11th, where we will share with the public the story of Art with Elders' long and fruitful partnership with Laguna Honda Hospital. All of this information and much, much more can be found on our website, very simply, www.artwithelders.org. But since so many of you are students, I'm pretty sure you know where to find us. So you'll also see, just as soon as Darcy can put up the link, a very lovely article that just came out yesterday about the terrific City Hall show, thanks to John Fink, if you raise your hand there, buddy. Yeah. Our publicist, John Fink, has done amazing work with us. Yeah, so look that up. It's a really spectacular article, and it brags about the show and our program, so soak it in. Just a few words about Art with Elders for the handful of people who may have just stumbled in and know nothing about us. We're a small 30-year-old nonprofit with a broad reach, a very rich history, and our mission is exquisitely simple. Art with Elders uses the power of art, creativity, and community to enrich the journey of aging. Our programs, the 30 years we've been around, we've connected with about 12,000 older adults in 75 senior centers through our art classes and shown their work, our students' work, your work, to literally millions of viewers in that time. Our model is very simple. You know, we do classes each week. We have about 400 students who participate in 40 long-term care facilities and day programs across 7 Bay Area counties, teaching art classes to groups of 10 to 12 students. We have about 20 local professional artists, teaching them color theory, perspective, composition, drawing, and we run about 2,000 classes per year. The second most important part of our program is the exhibition program, and that's why we're all here, and that's the beautiful exhibition happening across the street there. Each year, we exhibit about 100 of the best of our 400 students' work, and we expect about 250,000 people to see that exhibit every year. It travels throughout the city, throughout the Bay Area, and it really gives you all a voice, all of our students a voice, and communicates with the wider community. So much of what we do is to provide opportunities, as I said, to elevate the voices and raise the profile of our beloved elder students, and that's why today is so very, very special to us. We want to hear directly from you, our artists. So I'm going to shut the heck up very soon, but one thing I hope we can consider as we proceed. We're hoping to walk a fine line between allowing everyone who wishes to share the chance to do that, but we also want to give folks enough time to feel that they have expressed themselves and feel thoroughly heard. So, since we have so many of our friends from the Mission Neighborhood Centers Incorporated here today, we are blessed to have some Hugh's going to do some interpreting for us, and it may slow us down just a little bit. So please be patient. And with that in mind, we ask that you be respectful of the amount of time you have the floor, and we may give you just a tiny nudge if you've gone much past the few minutes that we've allotted for each response. However, if you feel you haven't been sufficiently heard and you think you need a little more time, we invite you to contribute to an open email form that will be available on our website just as soon as Darcy has the opportunity to put that up. So, without further ado, Darcy will introduce today's event here.
My name is Darcy O'Brien. I'm the instructor and exhibitions director for Art with Elders. And we just heard from Mark Campbell, he's our executive director. And we also have with us today Hugh Lehman, who's an artist instructor for some of the classes that participated in Senior Bridge, particularly in Mission Neighborhood Centers, as well as Open House. And Hugh is bilingual and teaches his class in Spanish, and so he's going to help us offer some of the words that we're saying here in Spanish so that everybody can fully appreciate it. Hugh, do you want to come up and, oh, there you are. Yeah, so maybe you can just say what we have class, what Mark is saying about class.
Al fin de cuentas, Mark está diciendo, Mark es el director de Art with Elders, él está hablando, Mark es el director de Art with Elders, él está hablando sobre como 2,000 clases al año en los últimos 30 años. Esta organización tiene más que 30 años y más o menos tenemos 2,000 clases al año. Y este año vamos a tener como 3 eventos diferentes donde vamos a más o menos mostrar las obras de ustedes, demostrar lo que ustedes han creado, pero lo más importante es hoy queremos que ustedes empiecen a hablar sobre sus procesos, hablar un poco sobre la importancia de arte y la oportunidad para crear comunidad a través de las clases. Además de hablar sobre lo que viene, vamos a hacer unas preguntas particulares sobre sus oportunidades de conocer amigos, de crear comunidades y fortalecer las relaciones humanas en nuestras clases. Y hablamos sobre la importancia de la salud mental, porque habíamos hablado sobre eso en nuestras clases hace unos meses y la habilidad de tratar y enfrentar esos asuntos a través del arte. Entonces vamos a empezar a hablar sobre eso en un ratito. Ella quiere hablar un poco y luego un poco más.
Muchas gracias, Senor. And so I'd like to just tell you guys a little bit about, today we're here to talk about social connection, which is a strong part of our program, as well as creating art together. As you know, we also have the interaction within our classes of our classmates. And so the classes can provide a forum for us to connect with other people that want to express themselves creatively. And so we'd love to hear from some of you today, and we have a few different questions we can ask, and you're welcome to share about these topics with us. And before we get started with that, I just wanted to address a little bit about our project, which is called the Senior Bridge Project. Senior Bridge Project was something that Art with Elders has been working on since last summer, actually. And for the project, we polled our artists to get feedback about topics of importance in their lives. And through the poll, we saw that mental health and social connection were of very high importance to most of our participants. So we asked our students to create art in response to these themes, and many of the artworks created for this project are now on display in our SFAC City Hall exhibit, and several of the participating artists are here today. So to get things started, Hugh is going to talk a little bit about how he worked with his classes and how some of the conversations that they had as they discussed how they might express themselves about social connection through art.
Thank you so much, Darcy. Thank you all very much for being here. In short, effectively, in the last handful of classes, so I know there's some of you from Open House that are artists in our class, and also from Mission Neighborhood Centers as well as other centers that I am not a teacher of. But ultimately, an underlying theme of all of our classes is the way that art has this incredible power beyond the image created. That art is about a process as much as anything, and that process allows us in many ways to leave our heads and the daily necessities of life, and it allows us to enter something else, allows us effectively to a sort of meditation, we might say. But how can we use that process then to connect with other individuals? How can we use that process to connect with ourselves? And ultimately, the perhaps most important thing about art is it has this tendency to outlive ourselves. And it has this opportunity, art presents this opportunity to speak long after we're gone, as that's what we have thousands of years of history to look at and we learn from humanity by, so that we are contributors to that. So this has been a part of our classes and talking about how we can use art to be something far more than just an image. So, en nuestras clases, a lo largo de los últimos meses, hemos estado hablando debajo de la superficie cómo el poder de arte es más que simplemente la imagen creada. Más que eso, es como una oportunidad para conectar con nosotros mismos, además de fortalecer las conexiones sociales de nuestras comunidades. Es una oportunidad para hablar con las generaciones del futuro, porque, como ya sabemos, el arte tiene la tendencia de sobrevivirnos. Y el arte creado tiene esta oportunidad para hablar sobre nuestro tiempo aquí, en esta tierra, a las generaciones del futuro. Y el arte es tan poderoso porque es una oportunidad para enfrentar los asuntos tabúes como la salud mental, además de conectar con individuos, quizá sobre todo conectar con nosotros mismos, para empezar a compartir y hablar sobre nuestras propias historias, nuestros propios cuentos, nuestros pasados, hablar sobre las emociones y ideas reprimidas a lo largo de los últimos años. Es una oportunidad para abrir las puertas de nuestras almas. Ultimately, that art is an opportunity to open the doors to our souls and begin to connect with something deeper than simply what is on the surface.
Thank you so much, Hugh. And so what we're going to do is we have a few questions kind of pre-planned that we are going to help kick things off with. And so I will read the question and we'll have Hugh speak it in Spanish as well. And then artists, if something dawns on you about the question and you'd like to answer to it, raise your hand and we will call on you. And as Mark asked, if you could try to keep your comments to just a couple of minutes so that we have time to have everybody share. That would be very helpful. And if you have more thoughts on your mind that are longer and you want to share that, we do want to hear that. And so please connect with me while you're here today, and you can go to our website, and we will have like a forum where we can have more of a conversation, a deeper conversation about all the different things to do with art and social connection. And so, see, it seems like I had something else to share. Oh, I wanted to introduce Carolina Aranabar Fernandez, who is the executive director of the SFAC Galleries, with whom we partnered. Did I get that right? Thank you. And you met Maysoon, and we thank them. We thank their staff and team for, and we have also Manoush Zamodorino. Did I get that? Zamodorinia, who's doing our media today. So as you can see, the event is being recorded for video, and if you'd prefer not to be in a video that would be shown publicly, please let me know, and we'll make sure that you have your privacy and that you're not used in the video. And so with that, we're going to pose a few questions, and we'll just take our time with this. And so please raise your hand if you'd like to address this question. We have 5 questions, and we have about 45 minutes to talk about it. So I'm excited to hear from you guys, and I'm glad you're all here. Thank you for coming today. So one question we're just interested in is wanting to hear from people a little bit of the story of how people express themselves through art. How does it work for you to translate something about what you're thinking or feeling into a visual art space creatively? And so I'm going to ask you to translate that. Thank you.
Para empezar, quiero decir que como ustedes pueden ver aquí en las cámaras, estamos haciendo grabaciones de este evento. Si ustedes no quieren aparecer en las grabaciones que estamos haciendo, solo tienes que avisar a Darcy, Mark o yo, y podemos editar eso de la grabación más tarde. Y si eso no te molesta, no te preocupes. Entonces, solo estamos haciendo una grabación, y si ustedes no quieren estar en una parte de esta grabación, avísenme. En cuanto a las preguntas, tenemos un puñado de preguntas diferentes. Al principio es como, ¿cómo puedes contarnos, cuéntanos un poco sobre la historia de cómo te expresas a través del arte? Este es para empezar. ¿Cómo te expresas a través del arte?
Hi guys, so take a minute to think about it, and please share. It's nothing formal. We'll just try to toss around some ideas. So if you have something you would like to share about how your creation process, what inspires you, how do you get something to the paper? Where do you start when you're going to create an art piece? Maybe it's from a class project that Hugh gives you an idea, or maybe something from your life. Maybe the place that you came from or were born might be an inspiration for you. Does anybody have thoughts about someplace about their inspiration for art? Where does it come from? How about Jerry Hill? We'd love to hear from you. Let me bring you a microphone, and we might have to do a little mic check here. Hang on, Jerry. We've got 2 of them here. Can you do a little talking and see if it works?
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Bring it right in there.
Use this one.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Jerry Hill, and I am from the George Davis Senior Center. And I'm so happy to say that I'm a member of this wonderful, wonderful art class with elders. And I work with different colors. And when I start to paint, I go back to my hometown in Texas. And I ended up doing the garden, the home. I must share it with you sometime. The home where I came from and home where I live. And it was just a feeling that I got. I didn't know what I was going to put on the paper. But as I got started, I ended up with the flowers, my father and my mother. My mother was in the garden. My father was sitting on the porch watching us as we played in the swing. And I don't know how that got started, but it was just a feeling through art, through colors, and just a happy feeling that I had. And I'm just excited to be a member of this art class. And I would like to say that Virginia Jordan is my art teacher, and we are looking forward to continue to work. And Mary over here, this is my art partner. Thank you, and it's so good to see everybody. There are some faces that I see that was on the calendars and that was here when we were at City Hall, and it's good to see everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry, for kicking us off. And I'm going to pass the mic over. Do you want to do translate? We're going to translate, and then you're next, okay? Yeah.
Gracias, Carlos, de antemano. Ella dijo que más o menos como ella está inspirada por su ausencia, disculpe, su ausencia. Ella está inspirada por su, ¿dónde vino? A Texas, ¿no? Ella vino de Texas y está hablando sobre creando arte que tiene que ver con su patria, con su estado, con su infancia. Entonces, este es un tema de lo que hemos estado hablando en nuestras clases para crear arte inspirado por nuestras patrias, nuestros pasados. Entonces, vamos a empezar a escuchar a lo que Carlos tiene que decir.
You may have to move your mic, your face down for the mic. Yeah.
Buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Carlos Alfonso Pérez. Yo soy de Guatemala. Tengo 44 años de vivir aquí en este país. Y le agradezco en especial tanto a Hugo, que es el maestro de dibujo, como al centro donde vamos, que es la 19 ICAP, el Mission Negro, porque nos han dado la oportunidad de sacar todo lo que tenemos y lo que más y lo que podemos más. Así que muchas gracias y les pido un aplauso para los dos lugares que gracias.
Muchas gracias, Carlos. He's saying in our classes, one of the things that we've been doing that Carlos is from Guatemala, and we have been, between quote marks here, traveling to Guatemala and Mexico and El Salvador and different places in Latin America, and drawing these landscapes and some of the representations of community and people within these landscapes, and effectively using the artwork as a way of connecting to this past and these distant places that are literal in the sense that it's geographically far, but also distant places in the fact that it is sometimes distant from our hearts. And so one of the things that he's talking about is special things to Mission Neighborhood Centers. And I want to say, Claudia here, so much of this is possible because of her making this possible. Muchas gracias, Claudia. Muchas gracias, Carlos.
Okay, let's hear from Ana Miranda, please. Ana. And if you can hold the mic close to your mouth so we can hear it well.
You know, everybody know my name, Ana Miranda. Y voy a hablar en español. Yo estoy muy agradecida con Mission New Earth Center y estoy feliz. Y también para mí fue algo muy bonito porque yo siempre en mi país, en El Salvador, me pusieron a estudiar una carrera que yo no me gustaba, que es oficina. Y yo siempre quise hacer una carrera como me gustaba la postura, hacer vitrinas, arreglar vitrinas, dibujos, y siempre me gustó todo eso, pero nunca lo pude hacer porque no me dio mi mamá la oportunidad, porque no quiso que fuera a la escuela vocacional, porque en nuestro país hay una escuela que es vocacional y nos enseñan todo lo que de referencia a clases de manualidades y todo. Y aquí yo estoy muy agradecida a los maestros, que Hugo, que es el que no está dando ahorita la clase, que he aprendido muchísimo con él. He aprendido a cómo combinar colores, cómo mezclar colores para sacar colores que a mí me gusta hasta ahora me he dado cuenta de que me ha ayudado a desarrollarme en lo que sí en realidad siempre a mí me ha gustado, que es pintar, también me gusta coser, porque coso, hago muchas cosas, hago mantelitos para la tortilla, me gusta hacer también faldas y bordar, me gusta hacer sobrepuntas, todo lo que es manualidad me encanta. Estaba haciendo y he hecho muchas cosas, he hecho pulseras, me gusta hacer adornitos cuando hay algo en el centro, siempre me gustaba decirles que les puedo ayudar para hacer algo aquí, para algún evento que hacíamos allí, y di unos días, un tiempito di clases de manualidades, yo de costura, les marcaba las telas, a ellas me llevaban las telas y yo se las marcaba, le dibujaba lo que ellas querían, todo lo que ellas querían. Y todo eso, pues yo dije, algún día voy a estudiar, porque siempre miraba pintura y decía, algún día voy a estudiar. Pero como me dediqué a trabajar, tengo 3 hijos y ya, pues, ya todas esas cosas, estudié inglés, fui a las clases de inglés, soy maestra también de niños en la guardería, trabajé por 10 años aquí en Blind Memorial, en la iglesia, en la guardería. Y ahí también aprendí, ayer les ayudaba a hacer los bulletin board del mes, que cómo adornarlos, sacar campañas de la independencia, pues todas las clases, todos los eventos que venían cada mes, que había, yo les ayudaba a hacer los bulletin board ahí en la clase con los niños. Y pues esta clase que estoy agarrando ahorita, que estoy encantada, me ha ayudado muchísimo, porque uno solo en la casa no hace nada. Entonces eso es para mí algo que yo me la paso pintando, haciendo cosas que me gustan hacer, que siempre voy al centro, pues soy voluntaria también en una parte del centro y me encanta. Soy muy feliz con ayudar y hacer cosas que me siento feliz y llena, una satisfacción de ayudar a las personas, estar siempre ayudando a todos. Y gracias a Hugo, gracias también al otro maestro, se me olvidó el nombre, se me olvida, Santiago, que también él fue el que inició con nosotros y poco a poco pues siguiendo avanzando, pues ahora ya me siento mucho mejor tratando de hacer, pues estoy haciendo más mejor que como estaba antes, como lo que hacía antes. Ya me estoy tratando de, quiero empezar a hacer, ya usar los pinceles para empezar a hacer caras y todo, estoy trabajando en eso. Eso me gusta.
¿Puedes contarnos un poco sobre la conexión social que hayas creado con Adam, además de tu hijo, enviando como tus obras a México? Y ahora mismo tienes uno de sus pinturas colgando en la casa de tu hijo a México.
Sí, uno de mis hijos, bueno, mi hijo mayor, el único hijo que tengo varón, yo le he mandado las pinturas que he hecho y las tiene ahí todas en la sala. Y cuando yo llego a su casa, digo, hijo, dice, mami, tú me las mandaste, mira qué bonitas, y las puse en cuadros, qué bonitas se miran en cuadros. Estoy muy feliz de que él me las tiene. Y mi hija también, ella tiene también de las que yo he hecho antes. Yo hacía, ¿cómo se llama de postal, ¿cómo se llaman
Manta.
De manta, le hice unos en bordados en listón, de diferente, le hice unos tulipanes, ¿de acuerdo? Y ella los tiene en la casa, en cuadro. Mi hijo también tiene las cosas que yo le eché en cuadro. Allá Tatiana también, la otra hija también tiene allá en Yucatán también ella me ha puesto todo eso ahí. También tengo mi nieto también, que también le gusta, que es Alan, que es el que yo crié, ese es el que he estado siempre conmigo desde que nació. Yo lo vi nacer y él le gusta también. Yo le llevé una alta clase con Hugo y sí, hizo unas cositas ahí bien bonitas que hizo.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias a ustedes y muchas gracias a todos.
Ana is talking about, growing up in El Salvador, she had always wanted to do things with her hands, and she always loved sewing and creating things, but never had these opportunities. Then when she moved here to the United States, she has 3 sons, and worked as a secretary, then also worked as a volunteer, and worked over here at Glide, and never had these opportunities, but thanks to Mission Neighborhood Centers. I keep motioning over here because Mission Neighborhood Centers is largely run by Claudia, who we applauded earlier, and very much so deserves it. But this program has made these opportunities for people to make art, to create art together, to take English classes, and it's a phenomenal opportunity to learn about one another. So oftentimes, it should be mentioned that Ana is from El Salvador, Carlos is from Guatemala. There are people from different parts of Latin America, and by going to these places, we share about some of our countries and some of our experiences. And so what I prompted her and asked her to say, one of the beautiful things is that Ana has begun making artwork and then sharing that artwork, sending it in the mail to family members of hers, and it hangs in their houses in Mexico. So a bit of her now and the stories that she's transmitting into those artworks is hanging and living in Mexico. And tu nieto, te felicito, ¿no?
her nephew visited several months ago, and he's 6 or 7 years old, and he would sit in class with us and make artwork with us. And his artwork now she has some of it, and some of it is there. So it's really much so an intercultural, international exchange, and this opportunity is in many ways through Mission Neighborhood Centers.
Well, thank you so much for all that, Anna and Hugh. And we do have an international group of students, not only in this case with Mission Neighborhood Center, many people coming from countries in Central America, Latin America, and we also have people here. I'm going to come around. Let's think about this question. Oops, sorry. Think about this question: how has your art affected your relationship with your family and friends? Hugh and Anna brought up this idea, and I've heard about it from many of our students, that when people create art and they share it with their family that is a gift, or working with youngsters, grandchildren or children, it's kind of an enriching experience, and it's a different way to express yourselves together. And so if you can think about that question for a moment, how does the working with art and creating art affect your relationships with your family? Are you able to connect with family and friends through your art in a different way than you can verbally? And I just want to say hi. We have students all around the room from different communities here, and we have people from Open Studios, from the Western Park Open Studios, Chieko, you're originally from Japan, is that true? Chieko, do you want to say hello?
Hello, my name is Chieko Lafferty from Japan, living here a long time. I studied art at the City College so many years, but it's okay. I did pretty good, but I haven't touched any artwork 10 years after that, and then I back to this art welder, study good, and from my relationship with my family, usually Elena too same way. My family, they like nice artwork, like a realism. When I go to like an abstract or something, they don't like it. So, but I don't know, I should hear my, relatives' information or not. My husband the same way, so I always thinking about, but creativity is more not like a realism. Realism is just more technique and everybody can learn, but I still sticking to the realism. But yeah, I learned a lot from the new technique, and art is never end. I now starting some old masterpiece or a copy. Then I did start a contest. That contest, my instructor Melinda suggested to put onto the water, that powder, soft pastel with water. Come out a very different approach, but that's a new technique for me. Always something learning, always, never end. That's what I like art, and I hope I could express more. I didn't much start Japanese thing, now I start to do. I want to do some Japanese watercolor, I bought from Japan. Now I start now, so little by little, something I'm doing. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Can you pass the mic one more time, and then we'll have you try to give a little overview of what people are talking about on this side of the room. We also have Yelena Kristich. And Yelena, will you tell us where you're from? And you're in the Wednesday Open Studio with Meme.
You know, guys, unfortunately, anybody can translate from Ukraine. and I'm going to tell you that in time of pandemic, we study art with Mimi in long distance. It gave us a new experience. It was a very new experience for us and very good. Now, thanks for Mark and Darcy, we have new teacher, Miranda, we can have opportunity to study art in person. And this is, suddenly we have new students. They come first time and they would like to study art with us. And thanks to art studying, I'm not also art how to draw. I have close friend from my neighbors. It's Chico, it's Alice, and also new friend. She just left. She Russian. She from different community, and she study with us in long distance. I would like to tell thank you, our teachers, and Art with Elder for has this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Elena and Checo. We're going to come around, and I see Linda's got her hand up. Let me have Hugh translate very quickly what we have just said, and we'll come to you.
La primera mujer había dicho que ella es de Japón y había estudiado en el colegio, o en la Universidad de City College, y había tenido la oportunidad para hacer arte, pero por 10 años no había dedicado mucho tiempo a su arte, pero hoy en día está empezando a través de las clases de Art with Elders a crear más arte y está empezando como una obra maestra.
Está empezando a crear una obra maestra. Después de mucho tiempo está copiando a los maestros de Europa y de otros países y está empezando a utilizar como la tinta de Japón para conectar con su país y su patria y su cultura a través de medios nuevos. Algo muy parecido de lo que estamos haciendo en nuestra clase. La segunda mujer había dicho como es de Ucrania. Entonces, una cosa muy llamativa. Thank you very much for what you shared. It's incredibly beautiful. Ella es de Ucrania y había creado una amiga, una amistad de una mujer de Rusia. Y considerar lo que está pasando ahora mismo en el mundo es como absolutamente fascinante para hablar sobre eso. Y ella ha dedicado mucho tiempo en nuestras clases y había intentado construir relaciones sociales a través de esas clases. Es absolutamente fascinantes. Entonces, muchas gracias a ustedes. Thank you very much for both of you sharing your stories. This is absolutely beautiful. And maybe we can then pass this to Linda. Sure, this.
Thank you, Hugh. And yeah, we're having a little mic difficulty, so bear with us. And I'd like to come over and see what Linda Sharp has to say. She's a participant at Open House. And you guys can share what you want. We are here to talk about social connections, so things that inspire you, or things that the class has helped you meet people, or maybe challenges that you have as well. And so let's pass it to Linda Sharp and hear what you have to say. Thanks for coming today, Linda.
Thanks for having this. I'm really grateful. I guess I'm very emotional because this class is so important to me. I have been disabled for a while, and I have been by myself. I'm not in a senior place, and it's very isolating. And for a while before, I was able to take classes, senior classes at Fort Mason, which helped me a lot. And I was doing stone carving and clay classes. We had really good teachers and all kinds of classes. And I went very often, but I also was more mobile. But the last few years, I've been stuck in my house. And before this class, I was really suicidal, because just a lot of fears and growing older and not having whatever and not having connections. And I don't even know how I found this class through mental health, I think, or Open House. Somehow I found Open House and looking for a place to live, but I'm not there yet. I'm still in my own apartment by myself, but I love these classes, and I get to meet and start to have friends all over from different places, different everything, different lifestyles, different beliefs, and get to create some of the stuff showing things that affect me, and some of the stuff trying to, interpret what I learned from Hugh, and Hugh teaches us so much. In terms of my family, they don't like me, but some of them like my art. If I send them my art, which it still feels good for it to be. It feels like some sort of acceptance when they accept it and show it. Some kind of connection. They want to hear what I have to say, but some of my art they like and they put up. But yeah, I have fear of the class ending or whatever, but I'm so grateful to get to know all different kinds of people from all different countries and all different types of work. And the program is very inclusive, that we all get compliments or instruction on our differences, which is very important to me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm a student at Open House also, and really inspired me. I also have been alone for some years now, and I'm completely isolated, can't get in and out of my house, so I go nowhere. And the classes have been just a lifesaver for me also. I can, on a weekly basis, I see people I know, I get to know people that way. It's opened it up so I have events to go to. I get help going to the events. Also, I've been doing art most of my life, but I'd stopped and this started me back up. And it allowed me to kind of surprise some people about what I had done or what I could do. And so I kind of, the people that I was connecting with had no idea that I was an artist. And when I was able to do some of these projects through the class, it really opened up things with them, because then they suddenly were, wanted to know about it, and I didn't know you could do this, and where did it come from, and then they could get out my old art and show that to them too. And that's been very good. It's allowed me to connect with people that probably would never have talked to me before about that. Now they see me differently. And also the class is very supportive. When you bring in your artwork and you're not sure about it, the class will let you know the good things about it and answer questions for you. And my creative process is sort of a thing where I come up with ideas all over the place. I like to do very eclectic, all different kinds of art. But then I think about it for a long time. I just mull it, and then when I'm ready, I just sit there and I do the whole thing. And so sometimes it looks like I'm not doing anything, but then all of a sudden, I'll just sit down and create this whole thing. And so that's why I said it kind of surprises people. I can't keep up with the class right now because everybody's painting and I don't have any place to paint in my apartment, so I'm drawing instead. So I'm kind of doing my own projects and trying to keep up. But that's accepted. People understand that as long as you're working, and that's fine. So I just wanted to say thank you to the people in the class and to Hugh and to Darcy, because it's I think it's really important for all seniors to have something that's meaningful in their life and some way to connect outside of their apartments, especially when you are homebound and mobility disabled, especially.
Also want to give thanks you guys for being brave and willing to share your stories with us, and we really appreciate you, and we know that it can be a challenge and a struggle. And during the pandemic, as you all know, we opened up online classes for the first time. Prior to that, Art with Elders was just in-person classes. But we found that it was a fantastic success. It's a way for us to connect. Even though we're not in the room together, we're still able to communicate and look and share with each other about art and learn from each other. So we've continued to keep our online classes, as many of you know, as well as having in-person classes. And we've added a lot of newer in-person classes now that some of the COVID risk is down, although we're still cautious with that. And so thank you so much for sharing those pieces of information. Thank you for neighbor Jim for transporting Kim today. She has difficulty getting out of her house and relies on volunteer help, and it's not always easy to hook up, but he's been a hero. Thank you.
Voy a hablar en voz alta porque el micrófono no está funcionando muy bien. Entonces, Linda había dicho como había enfrentado una depresión muy profunda y está muy aislada en su casa. Pero esas clases de arte en línea nos ofrecen la oportunidad para conectar con algo familiar, como gente que conocemos. Empezamos a reconocer a los demás a través de esas clases porque los vemos a la semana. Y podemos empezar a reconocer sus caras y sus artes y sus historias, porque ella atribuye como una historia a su arte y los demás hacen lo mismo. Entonces podemos empezar a conectar a través de historias que estamos conectando al arte que estamos creando juntos en la clase, a pesar de estar aislados a veces en nuestras casas. Kim has shared, excuse me. Kim ha compartido un poco sobre su propia historia desde que ha estado confinada en su casa por casi 3 años. Durante 3 años, esta es la segunda vez que ha salido de su casa. Ha tenido como muchos problemas, entonces muchas gracias a Jim. Jim es su amigo que había ayudado a ella a venir. Y ella ha estado aislada en su casa, pero nuestras clases de arte nos ofrecen la oportunidad una vez más para conectar. Y ella no puede pintar en su casa porque no hay espacio en su apartamento para pintar. Pero a pesar de eso, está utilizando lápices de color, un medio diferente de todos los demás en la clase, para conectar con su misma, para expresar un poco de su alma, para expresar un poco de lo que está pasando en su vida. Y ella dice que no puede mantener el paso, pero eso no es importante. Lo que es importante es simplemente para participar, para contribuir y compartir la creatividad. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. So we're going to have a few more minutes to talk, maybe another 10 or 15 minutes, but we wanted to save a little room at the end so we can just socialize and hang out with each other. We don't often get this opportunity to gather together and bringing different classes together, so I hope you'll stay and mingle a bit. I want to try to get around to as many people as I can, and forgive us if we don't get to you, but let's continue this conversation, and this is just the opener to get us started to talk about how we can continue to build social connection through creative practice. And I'd love to have Carolina Fernandez Aranibar, the director of the SFAC Galleries program, and she'll describe a little bit about her background.
Hola, mi nombre es Carolina y estoy súper feliz de estar aquí con ustedes. Yo estoy aquí hace 4 meses y ha sido realmente un placer, un regalo trabajar con ustedes, ver lo que están haciendo y también escuchar todas las historias que son realmente, me demuestran que el arte, lo que apoyamos, lo que estamos haciendo, es algo que vale la pena, vale la alegría también, ¿no? Es algo que podemos, es un lenguaje que lo podemos compartir de diferentes formas y creo que eso tiene mucho poder de conexión, como ustedes están compartiendo aquí en sus historias. Yo también soy artista, entonces me encanta también saber que a toda edad puedo ser artista, ver de niños artistas a todas las edades y realmente crecer con eso y saber que el poder del arte está ahí presente en todos, en cada paso de la vida. Así que gracias por compartir sus historias, gracias por mostrarnos su arte y permitirnos también mostrar su arte a otras personas. Es un honor realmente. Así que bienvenidos y ojalá también podamos seguir compartiendo. Gracias. Hi everyone, my name is Carolina. I shared that I've been here at the Arts Commission for about 4 months now, and it's a true pleasure and a gift to work with Art with Elders and with all of you, to learn from the work that you're doing, but also to learn that art as a language is so important, so powerful. I'm myself an artist, and to see that all of you are integrating art and doing art as a form of expression, as a form of language, as a form of connection is really inspiring to see that we can make and do art at every stage in our life. So thank you for doing that, for sharing that, and we're just really happy that you're here today, but also really happy that Art with Elders is an incredible support in different ways. So thank you so much.
All right, I'm gonna try to creep around the room and get to a couple people. I would love to hear, I know recently each one of our Open Studios classes online, and we have Richard here from our class, and we recently did a field trip to see an exhibit of John Singer Sargent at the DeYoung Museum. And I know the Mission Neighborhood Center has gotten out as a group, and they were able to visit the exhibit that we currently have at City Hall. And I'd love to hear about that experiences as well, maybe from some of you that have attended. And so first I would love to pass over to Richard, who attends our Open Studio class.
Thanks. Yeah, my name's Richard. And yeah, I started the Open Studios about a year ago. And my good friend here, Bob Leone, told me about it. And it's been a really nice experience. One thing is I retired full-time, now part-time. I work very little, luckily. But it seems like time became kind of a blur after I retired. There was a lot of structure, some structure I didn't really care for, but it kind of kept each day sort of, sort of in step, so to speak. And so I think one thing this class has provided is just another kind of a structure, but a very pleasant one, something I can look forward to each week. I'm really thankful for that. It's really been a nice experience. And as Darcy was saying, there's some other things we do, sort of derivative to the class, which included this going out with a few of us from the class with Darcy, went to see John Singer Sargent's exhibition at the Legion of Honor. It was excellent, still there. I recommend it to anybody who can go. It was a really good experience, and those kind of things also inspire me, and inspire all of us, I think, if we go, to create more art. And so those kind of things really help. And the class itself is kind of its own source of inspiration, seeing the work that other people do, and having actual in-class painting experience or drawing has been really helpful. So I think all of that has really added up to just enhancing my life, and hopefully other people who are involved in this program. So I think it's a really excellent experience. As far as my family and what the effect my art has, I don't have much family except for a couple of nieces. But they do see my work as I'm developing it, and they give me feedback. I have a weekly meeting with a couple of friends, and we share our artwork, and that's been a great experience. So all around, I'll just sum it up by saying I'm very appreciative of the program. It's been very good for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard, and thank you for being part of our class. And that reminded me, Richard's story saying he didn't have a lot of family around him. That is also the case for me. I don't have too much family in this area. I live alone and I don't have children. And so the Awe family, you guys are my family, and I really care about you. The people that I work with, I care about deeply, and my colleagues. And so, there's the chosen family. So we have people that are close at hand, and sometimes they're not blood relatives, but they're still family. And so I hope you guys all feel as close as I do as a part of our Art with Elders family.
Richard dice que es increíble estar en una parte de esas clases de arte porque es jubilado. Y después de jubilarse ha tenido como una perspectiva totalmente diferente del tiempo. El tiempo se desaparece, ¿no? Es totalmente diferente la oportunidad de tener tanto tiempo libre, pero ¿qué voy a hacer? Y después de empezar a dedicarse a su arte, ha empezado a conectar con los demás. Además de clase de arte, recientemente ellos han dedicado en esa clase de exposición de John Singer Sargent, que es una artista muy famosa que había pintado muchos cuadros en España. Y esta es una exposición en el Museo de Legion of Honor. Y después de ver esta exposición como una inspiración, una fuente de inspiración para continuar, para hacer más arte y para conectar con los demás mientras tanto están allí en el museo. Entonces, él estaba hablando sobre, no tiene mucha familia, tiene 2 nietas, pero está empezando a conectar con sus nietas a través de su arte, hablando sobre cómo es mi obra, qué piensa de mi obra, puede compartir un poco sobre lo que he creado. ellos ofrecen un poco de sus propias perspectivas y opiniones sobre sus obras que están creando. Es una manera de abrir las puertas una vez más, ¿no? La conversación, conectar y la comunicación en la comunidad.
Who's Kira?
Linda is prompting me to prompt you if you would like to share something.
Oh, yes.
Please. And the microphone, as you know, may be going out, but
Yes.
close to the
Can
mouth.
you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Kareed. I'm visually impaired, so when I joined Art with Elders, I already knew I couldn't draw because I've been to art classes over the years, and every art teacher I ever met said, well, you have no depth perception, so you can't draw. Like, for instance, when I put a paintbrush on a paper, I can't tell when I'm actually going to touch the paper. So I may want to make a little dot, and it usually comes out as a big splotch. So I do splotch work, as you can tell. I am now doing my own clothing. I've painted my paints, my pants, my shoes, and I've put bleach art, taking old shirts and bleaching them out to make patterns. The point is to make my art me, my life. Hugh, he was here a minute ago, he inspires me to create. And the classes are incredible because I thought I was going blind. And I am. I have advanced glaucoma. The doctors say it's any moment now, but I don't believe doctors, so we just continue on. And with artwork, I can see. Because part of my artwork is three-dimensional. It should be like the pants are three-dimensional, but everything else should be so that when I do eventually not be able to see again, I'll be able to see my artwork. So a lot of my artwork kind of looks a little bit strange because it's supposed to be touched and felt. And that's the experience with Art with Elders. Even when we're on Zoom, we're touching everybody. I'm making more friends now than ever before, and I feel there is a community out there, and I can see now with all of your artwork. So I want to thank you all for helping me see it.
Thank you, Dad.
Ella ha estado enfrentando la ceguera por años, desde que en su infancia. De hecho, los doctores le habían dicho que algún día no vas a ver nada. Entonces, toda su vida ha tratado de crear arte, pero todos le han dicho como no puedes hacerlo desde que no tienes como una perspectiva de profundidad. De hecho, cuando él trata de poner el pincel con pintura fresca contra el lienzo o el papel, no puede detectar cuando el pincel, la cera del pincel va a tocar a la hoja, porque no tiene esa perspectiva de profundidad. Entonces, lo que estamos hablando, él estaba hablando sobre nuestras clases, le han enseñado que sí se puede, sí, por supuesto es posible. Solo tienes que tratar y poco a poco, paso tras paso, una persona puede empezar a crear en sí mismo. Y él está empezando a crear que puede hacerlo. Porque él ha mostrado nuestras obras, nos ha mostrado obras de nuestras clases increíbles. Y este es simplemente como el día de romper la narrativa que los doctores le han dado, como no puedes hacerlo, porque es la visión. Pero poco a poco él lo ha hecho. Y como ustedes pueden ver en su ropa, es más que un artista, no es un apasionista. Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, that's a really inspiring story, Carrie. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And as we know, we work with what we got. You know, sometimes not everything's working perfectly, and whatever those obstacles are, we're creative people, and we have ways to overcome that, and we can work together to overcome those things, whether it's mobility or other issues, vision impairment, or sometimes language can be a barrier, as we know. And so many different kinds of challenges to overcome, but that's why we work together, so that we can hold hands and walk through these and find creative solutions to move forward. We have time for, let's hear from like maybe 2 more people, and then shall we have a little social mixing time? I believe we're gonna have a little bit of refreshments here in a moment, and so let's maybe two people, who would like to say something that hasn't had an opportunity? Ana, right? Yeah, Ana Zavaleta, thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Ana Zavaleta, soy de salvadoreña y me encanta arte, hago cualquier que yo pinto, yo hago en canvas, diferente dibujo, estoy súper feliz, estoy emocionada, le estoy agradecida al maestro Hugo porque yo combino los colores. Estoy muy agradecida. Gracias a Misión Power Center. Gracias por la paciencia lo que tengo y tengo mucho cariño. Siempre me gustaba pintar, hacer campas, pintar. Incluso ya tengo galería en mi apartamento. Estoy súper feliz. Gracias.
Anna says that she's starting to paint so much, and that she has a gallery of art in her house. And one of the beautiful things is that she's been experimenting with painting on canvas, even beyond what we typically do is painting on paper with acrylic paints in class. She's gone out and got some canvases and starting to paint things. One of the beautiful things I'd like to add is that her mother grows flowers, grows tulips. And she paints these tulips into this beautiful painting recently of some of the flowers that her mother is growing. So it's become a connection between she and her mother. And some of the beauty is that she's feeling inspiration and the opportunity to connect, sometimes coming in person, sometimes online. Beyond this, I'd like to also add that what you do, Anna, is incredible. It's incredible learning math and English and art. Muchas gracias por todo lo que haces. Has dedicado como al aprendizaje, ¿no? De clase de arte, de clase de inglés, clase de matemática. Qué impresionante, chica.
Thank you.
I'm not too good with my Spanish, but I think also that she maybe said that you were a caring, inspiring, patient teacher. Yeah, Hugh is a caring, inspiring, and patient teacher, and you all know that. And we have many such individuals also in our teaching crew. I wanted to give a shout out to Mary. Speaking of sharing your art, she had a piece of art that she had worked on that she brought to our City Hall opening because it was a portrait of San Francisco Mayor London Breed, and she brought and was able to speak with Mayor Breed and show her her picture and that she had created of her. And so like a connection that she didn't realize she was going to make when she created that, because she just was inspired by Mayor London Breed, and then she got to actually meet her. So cool connection there, and I'm glad you have that opportunity. And we try with our exhibits to give, to make more connection, to make your voice speak louder, as Mark mentioned. And so we're always looking for opportunities to share your stories. We value you, your wisdom, and your individuality just as people, regardless of age. And we appreciate all the beautiful works of art that you collaborate with our program. And you, as was mentioned, we wouldn't have a program if it wasn't for you artists. And so we really value the work that you make, and we care about you personally. And I just want to make sure you know that. I think you do. All right, who would like to share a word, and then maybe we'll have a social connection. Let's hear from Hilda. Yeah, she's Hilda from the Mission Neighborhood Centers, Inc. Got her one of many pieces that she created that SFAC chose to create this postcard. Hilda.
Hi everybody. I'm so glad to see everybody here. I only know some people online. But hi everybody, my name is Hilda. I'm very happy to be here, and I apologize for the latest. I am in a wheelchair, so I have a lot of difficulty moving around the city. On the buses, something happens, they kick me out of the bus, etc., etc. Usually I'm at home. For the class online, it took me a while to get on it, and I get sick a lot. So I spend most of my time in bed. One of my paintings there that really got me out. When I went from bed, I got up, and that's mine. And be able to, Auto Elders has opened my life, not just for me, but for my family. My kids have seen the difference, how happy I am. And I can tell for Hugh too, it's a big inspiration. He pushes us to get better, he's always very encouraging. So, my family likes me. And they're very proud of me. I wasn't able to do much. I didn't really consider what I do art. I never took classes. So this is very, very nice. And when I went to the event, then I saw the car, and then I saw the big poster. It was overwhelming, so I kept sending everything to everybody. And I don't know a lot of people in person. I go to open house and Mission Network Center. So it's very nice to have a lot of people. I don't have any family, but just my kids, and I only have one kid with me. My other two kids are in school. The other one moved out of the state. and I don't have really contact with my family who's in Mexico. So I don't have anybody else, you know. So to have all this support and everybody around me, even they don't know me, and even say hi or say, oh, I recognize somebody. I remember when I saw Kim and she was having an interview, and I'm like, oh, hi Kim, and then after that I realized, oh my God, I interrupted the interview. You know, but it felt so good. It felt so good because usually I feel like my work is not good, and me not being able to work, my head not being able to do anything. I've been on this wheelchair for over 15 years, and because of it, I can't even volunteer anymore because I keep falling down and sick, you know, and stuff like that. So this is like a lifesaver for me, and I'm so glad that they went online. I hope that will stop because I might always be able to go to the in person. So I want to thank all of you very much. I wasn't able to thank you after the event because my kid got COVID, then I got COVID, and then I got sick. So this is like my next outing since I went out, when we went to the museum and come here. So thank you everybody for your support. Thank you for showing up. I see other people. I have learned so much from everybody. So this is awesome. Thank you very much.
Ustedes ya le conocen muy bien, ¿no?
Muy bien.
Entonces, ella está hablando sobre la ausencia de su familia. Su familia en México no tiene contacto con ella, pero tienen sus hijos aquí. Y este ha sido como una salvavidas para ella, para empezar a conectar con sus hijos aquí, además de conectar con su mismo. Porque siempre ha habido esos dudas, una depresión que no puedo hacer, no sé muy bien lo que creo. Pero a través de nuestras clases empezamos a ayudar a nosotros mismos, empezamos a respaldar a cada persona, empezar a respaldar a los demás. Y ella está empezando a crear en sí misma, empezando a conectar con sus propias historias a través de lo que está creando en sus clases. Ha tenido muchos programas con las enfermedades del COVID, además de estar confinada en un silla de ruedas. Entonces las clases en línea son una salvavidas, porque ella puede participar en sus clases desde una distancia, conectar con ustedes su comunidad. Entonces,
very powerful sharing with us. And let's wind it down on one last thing. I did have a curiosity I mentioned before. I just wanted to hear from somebody from Mission Neighborhood Center who came and saw the exhibit. In general, how does it feel to have your work, Hilda talked about it a bit, of having your work up in an exhibit? And I'm just curious how your visit to the exhibit went and how it felt to see your work there. Lorena?
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Lorena. En cuanto a tener mi arte en el City Hall, me sentí muy emocionada. Nunca me imaginé porque yo nunca había dibujado nada hasta que conocí la organización Art with Elder en el Mission Neighborhood Center. Ahí comenzamos las clases y luego vino la pandemia. Se continuaron las clases por línea y fuimos avanzando poquito a poco gracias a los maestros como Santiago y Huguito, Hugo en español, y verdaderamente nos ayudó muchísimo. Estas clases han sido como un salvavidas para nosotros. Esos días confinados en las casas, esperando con ansias el día de la clase, fue muy bonito. Por lo menos dentro de todas las cosas teníamos la clase. La verdad que sí, y ver los dibujitos ahí en el City Hall, pues dice uno, ay, ya aprendí, poquito a poco voy aprendiendo. Vamos a ver qué más sigue. Y otra cosa, el tema, tú nos das un tema y lo que me encanta es que cada quien lo desarrolla y salen diferentes cuadros del mismo tema. Increíble. Eso me gusta bastante, ver el trabajo de cada uno y que el mío es diferente al de ella y el tema es el mismo. Sí, pero me encanta eso.
No hay copias.
No, no hay. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.
she's saying, you know, that to see her artwork in City Hall has been incredibly rewarding. That it was something inspiring to her, that she had never thought that something like this could happen. And preceding classes, she thought, well, I don't know how to draw, I can't do this. But little by little is learning. And so, as you may be able to deduce from the situation, many of us are in the same class together, as well as a handful of others that aren't here. But one of the things she's expressing is that in spite of doing something that treats the same theme, that confronts the same theme, that the artworks are all totally different, one from the other. And they give us this opportunity to express how each person is individually different. She's also expressing some of the beauty of being a part of this class, but then coming to City Hall and seeing her own artwork. And little by little, realizing that she can make these incredible things, and that these classes have been a wonderful part of something that she looks forward to. And so if there's nothing else, there's the classes where she can connect with the community and do it from online, because the classes are both in the center and also online. But we have a big screen, thanks to Claudia and Mission Neighborhood Centers, to get this going so that people can be at home and people can also be in person. And in doing that, they can connect with one another for those who aren't able to come. So it's incredible. Thank you for sharing.
Great, thank you so much again for sharing all these great stories, and it's so great to see everybody here. I'd love to have a welcome to Sue, who's just joined us. She's on our board as some honorary members. We have John Fink, our Art with Elders publicist. Thank you for the hard work you do. And Mark's going to say a couple of words to close us out, and then let's get to chat with each other, and we'll have a few snacks.
Thanks, Darcy. Everyone, thanks, Darcy, right? I mean, come on. And as well as you know, I don't know about y'all, but I have been on the verge of like tears the whole time, just hearing all of the incredible sentiment that is headed his way, and it's clear, you know. I mean, just if I can put a neat little bow on this thing, you know, Senior Bridge. It's like a bridge goes two ways, right? And so much of you have talked about how much you get out of this gig, how much the program gives to you, and how much it's enriched your lives. I just want you to realize, you know, your gift comes back to us. It truly does. We are such better people for having engaged with you creatively for a long period of time. This is a very unique situation where we get to create these long relationships. We get in there with you. We trust, you know. So I think you to hit the pocket here. You get it. It's been really profound, and I hope that you all appreciate how much you give, not just to us teachers, but to society. You are living examples of the power of creativity, and the idea that people should not stop living, should not stop engaging. You know, I mean, this is, it's a beautiful, powerful thing, and it's hard to put words to it, but I'm just grateful for you all, grateful for the program, and grateful for the Arts Commission, and yes, Keisha over there. I didn't get to say, this is one of our other amazing teachers. Anyway, thank you all. Let's take a minute, and we can commune and chat, and yeah, very grateful. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mark. And also wanted to give a shout out for, I'm sorry again for those we didn't get to talk to, but I wanted to just say hi to my friend Margaret Schultz-Bacon here, Margaret Bacon. Margaret came to our program. She first volunteered to be a biography writer. And as you know, we always exhibit the artwork with the biography of the student or an artist's statement written by you, your students, and a photo. And so she has been part of what we call our Life Stories team, somebody that would go and talk with each of the seniors in an exhibit and create their story. She's also a writer, and now she's added visual arts to her story. And so she served the Art with Elders in the Life Stories, and then she also joined the online class to round out her art career. And I just want to say thank you, and I'm glad you're here today.
And I don't even want to write anymore. I love to draw. Awesome.
Yeah, so and I'm going to give you a minute to just offer you Mark's closing remarks, and then we'll eat.
El director Mark dice que
Lo que es más importante que ustedes se dan cuenta es que ustedes nos ofrecen algo. No es simplemente que esta clase que ofrece una oportunidad para conectar. Lo que es más importante es para ustedes que se den cuenta que ustedes nos ofrecen tus obras de arte, su creatividad, sus historias, sus cuentos. Este es asombroso y recibimos nuestros beneficios en nuestras propias vidas porque tu creatividad nos ofrece sentido en nuestras vidas como profesores y maestros de estas clases de arte. Y este ha sido una experiencia genial para mí, ¿no? Es como al principio de la pandemia, yo había tenido como casi 2 años cuando no podía crear arte y fue una depresión muy difícil para mí. Pero a través de empezar a conectar con ustedes y la creatividad que ustedes comparten en nuestras clases ha sido una experiencia genial para mí, ¿no? Este es algo, no es un secreto, nadie sabe. There's going to be, si ustedes visitan a nuestro sitio web, puedes continuar a compartir más en nuestro sitio web. En nuestras clases voy a compartir cómo ustedes pueden acceder al sitio web y teclear y compartir en anonimato con tu nombre sobre tus propias experiencias, sobre sus historias. Entonces puedes continuar a ofrecer y a hablar y compartir sobre lo que está pasando en nuestras clases, en tu vida. Y vamos a tener 2 oportunidades.
May 23 and July
11.
11.
El 23 de mayo y el 11 de julio vamos a tener más eventos. Entonces ustedes pueden continuar a visitar, compartir y ver tus obras y vamos a tener más conexión con la comunidad. Y el resto de este evento, como tenemos unos 30 minutos más, para empezar a comunicar entre ustedes, para conectar y compartir sus propias historias y charlar, practicar, tomar una cerveza, ver las otras cosas.
Yeah, please come. You're always invited to come to our other events. They're on this postcard, which are on the back table. Feel free to take one of these and join us for future events. The next one is accessibility and inclusivity. It's going to be some people that do senior service, provide senior services, and we'd love to have you guys involved in that conversation. So come on down and let's eat. Thank you. Thanks so much, everybody.